What problems should be introduced to students as early as possible? Otherwise, they might grow up hating the subject. Not only to introduce it, it has to be introduced in such a way where it will stimulate the student's brain. This is where most teachers make a mistake. They teach word problems as though they are teaching CRS, where you can easily quote a passage, you can easily memorize a passage. They teach word problem as if it's something you can memorize. Let me give you an instance. These are some of the word problems I see them teach at that early age. I have 5 balls. My father gave me 4 balls. How many balls do I have altogether? Now they'll tell the two students now, when you see all together, you do addition. That's the problem with this. You are teaching the student to cram a subject that you are supposed to think. So that means anytime the student sees all together, the student will do addition. The problem with this now is that the student might grow up feeling that every word problem that has all together must be addition. And if you advance in life, you see other word problem now. You didn't see any addition now. You say, oh, this thing is difficult. I can't do this thing. What type of word problem is this? That's the problem with it. A subtraction word problem usually looks like this. A boy had 8 apples. He ate 2 apples. How many apples does he have left? Well, this one is a bit fair. But let me show you something. Now look at this word problem now. A boy had 8 apples all together. After eating some apples, he had 3 left. How many apples did he eat? Now, a student now might say, oh, my teacher taught me that all together is addition. And what comes to mind now is 8 plus 3 is equal to 11 apples. This is totally wrong, because you have been made to understand that all together is always addition. So, each child has to think outside the box. How will I stimulate this child brain at that age? Because at that age now, you have to make them understand that this is a subject that you have to be thinking. So that when they advance in age, they will see it as a normal thing. Oh, this is a subject, okay. Time to think. Put on your thinking cap. That's what they should be having in mind. Not a subject that you cram. You see something and you just cram it and do it the way you do it is always fixed. No. Look at how I usually model my word problems. Look at, I usually remove that all together. Look at this question. I had 5 balls. Father gave me 4 balls. How many balls do I have now? Look at this question now. There's nothing like that all together. Rather, I advise the students to count, to think. You have 5 balls and 4 balls. That means what you need to do, you need to count. You need to count the 5 balls and the 4 balls that you have. That's how you know the number of balls. So when it comes to counting, now that you are doing what? Addition. Now look at another type now. In a class, there are 5 girls and 6 boys. How many pupils are there in the class? The student has to think about himself, about the problem, not by looking at whether there's all together in that problem. There are 6 girls, 5 girls, and 6 boys. How many pupils? That means you need to count the girls and the boys. That's addition. Look at this one now. There are 14 pupils in a class. If 8 of them are boys, how many girls are there? Nothing to show you that you might do subtraction or addition. You now have to think about it. In a class of, you have 14 pupils. Then 8 are boys. To get the number of, what do? You remove. You remove. So now, with this word problem now, it starts stimulating the child's senses. If he sees a question, I start thinking, I say, is it count or should I remove? Not by saying, oh, this one has all together, this one has left. If he has to do with count, the child goes on and add. If he has to remove, as the child advances in life, he will see many word problems and he has to rack his brain to know what to do. So, introducing a word problem that is going to stimulate the senses, stimulate the brain at that early stage is what the child needs, because the child will now be willing to undergo tasks that will stretch the brain. No one says, no, this thing is difficult. I'm not ready to think. So the way word problems are set at that early stage really helps. Thank you.